Good evening, folks. Welcome to this week's episode of Beer Rating with Sean Connors, September 2nd, 2020. Still in the pandemic, so I hope everybody's doing well. The beer for this week is, once again, I have no idea. Basically, I got a load of beer in the fridge that I bought earlier this summer. Not even sure what I got. So what I've been doing pretty well last several weeks is basically just sticking my hand in and seeing what I got. So we'll try that again. All right. It's a can, I know that much. And I'll zoom in so you can see it before I have a look. Then I'll read the can, crack it open, and go from there. So I'm just trying to read it as I'm zooming in. I can't even figure it out. Okay. So it is a German beer. I know that much just from looking at the label. Alright, so what do we have here? A black lager beer, product of Germany. Number one and black lager beer. Of 1543, so I assume that's the date it was made, and it's Kostritzer Kostritzer. That's about all I can get out of it. 4.8% alcohol, and that's about it. I've had a black lager before. Basically, anybody follows me on a regular basis. Actually, this time last year, actually almost to the day, actually would be tomorrow. I was in Czech Republic. I went to the Real Beer Spa, and basically I was soaking in a vat of beer, and we had each vat had some couple taps there, and there was two different beers. One was a regular lager, and one was a black lager. And if I remember correctly, it wasn't too bad, but it was nothing, that great. So I'll crack this open and we'll give it a try. Just gave my glass a quick cold water rinse as per usual. As expected, it's black. And last time I had it, I didn't mind it, but it was kind of odd. It reminded me of a lager with a little bit of stout into it, just the flavor. And just from the aroma, I'm kind of getting the same idea. So it's obviously black, as we expect. It's not like if you had a flashlight, you'd probably shine a light through. So it's not black like a stout, more or less. Fair bit of head there. Yeah, the aroma kind of, once again, is kind of a little bit of a lager smell with a little bit of stout, which normally is what, the caramel maybe, or smoke, that type of thing. Give it a taste. To me, as soon as I go to drink it, obviously my nose is in the glass, and your sense of smell has a lot to do with your sense of taste. One thing they say is if you don't believe that, actually plug your nose and drink a beer, and you won't even get that much of a flavor from it. But when you pour it in a glass, you get the aroma more so, which helps you get the taste, because basically when you're drinking the beer, your nose is almost in the glass. To me, it kind of tastes like a really light stout. That's what I'm getting. If you're a stout drinker, say most people are familiar with Guinness. A Guinness, when you drink it, it's actually thick. It actually kind of feels like the creaminess in your mouth type of thing, the mouthfeel. I'm not getting that with this. The mouthfeel is pretty much of a lager, but the taste kind of like a stout. Bit of a strong flavor, a little bit of aftertaste, but nothing that lingers too long. Like for me, I would say this is a fairly strong flavored beer. not super strong, but compared to your typical lager, you can definitely taste it. And actually, it's still lingering. It's funny because it's kind of strong for a second, and then it just kind of tapers off. But at the same point, even though it tapers off, it still stays with you a bit. So, right off the bat, my initial impression is it's not a bad beer. I definitely wouldn't have. I'm not going to have any problem finishing it. Would I something I drink on a regular basis? Probably not. But for me, it'd be one of those beers, a time and place. And what I mean by that is I do enjoy a stout, a Guinness as such, or other stouts. I would say so far, Guinness would probably be one of my favorite stouts. But with that being said, I do enjoy a stout, but it's not something I drink on a regular basis. If I'm going to a party or at a dance or something, a stout is not something I'll normally, sit down and have on a regular basis. But if I'm somewhere at an Irish pub or, cold winter night type of thing, I'm just going to have one beer and the stout's available, I'll enjoy it by all means. But it's not, stouts I find pretty filling, so it's not something I'd sit back and, drink a 6-pack of it. Just wouldn't happen. Okay. It's kind of weird because my first impression was to give it a 3. My ratings, once again, out of 5. 1's a drain port, don't like it, can't finish it. A 2's I'm not a big fan, but I'll finish it. A 3 is a good beer. A 4 is a very good beer, and a 5 would be the best beer ever. My initial impression was thinking, okay, this is about a 3. And then I took another sip, and I'm thinking, well, possibly a little bit higher. Then I took another sip, and I'm thinking, maybe a little bit lower. So I'm still kind of sitting on the fence, but if I had to take a guess, I'm thinking anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5. I can't see it going higher or lower than that. And with that being said, obviously 3's in the middle, and that's kind of what I had a first impression of. I'm still not 100% convinced, but anybody who follows me on a regular basis, a beer that I like, but it's not something be a regular drink. A 3 is pretty well average for me. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if it got out of my way again for another one, but if I came across one or that's all that was available, I wouldn't hesitate. So I think I'm going to stick with my initial rating, the 3.0, just means it's a good beer. It's not great, but it's not bad either, so there you go. That's my rating, and once again, these ratings are just personal preference. If you get a chance, pick one up, the Kostritzer schwarzbier, black lager beer, and apparently it's the #1 black lager beer in Germany, I assume. And just a little bit more French, which I don't really know German. I don't really know any German. But there is one word there, and it's REINHEITSGEBOT. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but that's basically the purity laws. I mentioned that before, and that was basically a law put in place in Germany that said back in, I believe, the 1500s, I could be wrong there, but they basically said if you're going to brew beer in Germany, it's only allowed to contain water, hops, and barley, the 3 main ingredients. Basically, they didn't know about yeast, so that wasn't included. And once they discovered the germ theory and everything else, and yeast was discovered, they added that. And at one point, there was an exception made for beer, because my understanding, some higher ups in society, I'm not sure if it was royalty or whatever, but they were fans of wheat beers, which are pretty popular in that part of the world. So wheat was added later on. Just seeing if there's anything else now. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my 3.0. So there you go, folks. Hopefully you can join me next week. Hopefully everybody's taking care of themselves. Hopefully everybody's getting through the pandemic, washing your hands, social distancing, and all that stuff. And hopefully you can join me next week. So there you go, folks. 3.0 for my black lager beer out of Germany, the Kostritzer. And I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, and any German viewers, I apologize. Until next brew, Enjoy responsibly. Cheers.